How to become untouchable so that no matter what life throws at you, you remain calm, unshaken, and unbreakable. Imagine waking up every morning knowing that no insult, no setback, no failure, no storm of life can touch your inner peace. Imagine having that level of mental strength where negativity simply bounces off you and you continue walking forward with unwavering calm. It's not a fantasy, it's the Stoic way of life. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 13 Stoic principles that once you truly understand and live by them, will make you mentally invincible. These are not vague ideas, they are practical, battle-tested mindsets that ancient philosophers used to thrive in the harshest conditions, and by the end of this video, they'll belong to you. Make sure you stay till the end, because the final principle is the one that most people ignore, and it's the key to making all the others work together. Let's dive in. 1. Focus on your internal world, not the external. The world around us is constantly changing. People change, situations shift, markets rise and fall. But there is one constant, your mind, and that's where you should direct all your energy. Seneca once said, "True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future." When you focus too much on external events, money, social status, relationships, you give away your power. Your happiness becomes dependent on things you can't control. But if you cultivate peace within, the outside world becomes just noise you can ignore. The great philosopher and soldier Epictetus once lived a life of extreme hardship. He was a slave, shackled by his external circumstances. But it was in his mind that he found freedom. He said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." What if you could stop letting the external world control how you feel? Focus on what's in your mind, and you will always be in control. 2. Embrace change and adapt. The Stoics taught that everything in life is in constant flux. Nothing stays the same. Change is inevitable, but it's how we react to it that makes all the difference. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, reflected often on the impermanence of things. He knew that every moment, every possession, and every relationship was transient. But rather than resist change, he chose to embrace it. When something changes, it's easy to feel out of control, like you've lost something precious. But the Stoic approach is to accept that change is the natural order of life. When Steve Jobs was ousted from Apple in the 1980s, he could have felt betrayed, devastated. But instead, he adapted, created Pixar, and returned to Apple with a renewed vision that changed the tech world forever. He saw change as an opportunity, not a loss. You'll find the same power when you learn to see change as your ally. 3. Choose your company wisely. The people you surround yourself with influence your mindset and behavior more than you may realize. A Stoic wouldn't just sit idly by and let toxic relationships dictate their emotional state. Epictetus emphasized the importance of the company you keep, advising us to choose our friends carefully because they shape our character. If you surround yourself with negativity, doubt, and drama, it will infect your mind. But if you choose people who embody wisdom, virtue, and strength, you'll start to adopt those same qualities. Thomas Jefferson, despite being surrounded by the elite of his time, sought out the company of humble philosophers and thinkers. He understood that the right influences could elevate his thinking and help him navigate the complexities of leadership. Evaluate the people around you. If they don't lift you up, they may be dragging you down without you realizing it. 4. Self-discipline is freedom. In a world filled with distractions, self-discipline is your superpower. Without it, you're at the mercy of every whim, impulse, and external influence. But when you develop self-discipline, you regain control over your life. The Stoics practiced ascesis, the art of self-control. They believed that the less you were dependent on external pleasures, the more you could focus on the things that truly matter: your character, your virtues, your inner peace. Marcus Aurelius made it a point to rise early, focus on his duties, and avoid indulgence. He knew that true freedom came from mastery over himself, not the world. David Goggins, a man known for his extreme self-discipline, pushes his body and mind to their limits every day. His level of focus and commitment has made him a true example of Stoic discipline in the modern world. He says, "The only way to become what you're meant to be is through a process of discomfort and hard work." 5. Be present in every moment. The past is history. The future is a mystery. The present moment, however, is a gift. That's why it's called the present. One of the most powerful Stoic principles is the ability to live fully in the present. Stoics understand that the only time you truly control is right now. Seneca warned against dwelling too much on the past or anxiously anticipating the future, for those things are beyond your control. The only time that truly matters is the present. The famous American writer and philosopher Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, "The only time is now." When you start living in the moment, you'll notice a shift in your stress levels, your productivity, and your overall well-being. Each breath, each second is a chance to shape your future. Live it well. 6. Let go of your attachments. The Stoics were masters at letting go. They understood that attachment, whether to people, objects, or outcomes, is the root of much suffering. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself that everything, including his own body, was temporary. He lived with the understanding that his loved ones, his possessions, and even his empire could all disappear at any moment. The Stoics didn't preach apathy or indifference. Instead, they encouraged us to enjoy things without becoming emotionally attached to them. In the 18th century, the famed writer and philosopher Voltaire lost his home and his wealth in a political scandal. Yet, he was able to remain peaceful, continuing his work and philosophy. He'd learned the art of non-attachment. Let go of attachments, and you'll find freedom from anxiety. 7. Seek virtue above all else. The Stoics believed that virtue was the only true good. Wealth, power, and pleasure, these things are neither good nor bad in themselves. It's how we use them that defines their value. But virtue, wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance is inherently good. To become untouchable, you must seek virtue in all things. Virtue should guide your decisions, your actions, and your relationships. If you live a virtuous life, you will have nothing to fear, because your inner strength will be your fortress. Abraham Lincoln, despite facing immense personal and national challenges, held steadfast to his commitment to justice and freedom. Even when faced with immense political pressure, he never compromised his principles, earning him respect from all sides. Live a life of virtue, and nothing can take away your peace. 8. Do not judge, but observe. One of the most toxic habits of modern life is the constant judgment of others. We judge their actions, their words, their lives, but judgment clouds our clarity and peace of mind. The Stoics encourage us to be observers, not judges, to see people's actions for what they are, without assigning labels of good or bad. Instead of judging, we should focus on how we can improve ourselves in response. In the ancient world, the philosopher Diogenes was known for his unconventional lifestyle. People often judged him harshly, but Diogenes refused to engage in judgment. He lived his truth, unbothered by the opinions of others, and his example inspired many thinkers. When you stop judging others, you free your mind from the constant need for comparison and criticism. 9. Patience is key. In a world that demands instant gratification, patience has become a rare and invaluable skill. The Stoics understood that true growth takes time. Wisdom, virtue, and resilience are cultivated over years of patient effort. Marcus Aurelius, despite his immense power, understood the value of patience. He practiced patience with his soldiers, his family, and himself. He believed that rushing only leads to mistakes and regret. The story of the tortoise and the hare is a perfect example. The tortoise, slow and steady, wins the race against the impulsive and impatient hare. In the same way, patience and persistence will always lead you to success. In your own life, remember that patience is not a passive state. It's an active choice to endure with grace. 10. Live with integrity. At the core of Stoic philosophy is the idea of living with integrity. Integrity means aligning your actions with your values, regardless of the circumstances. It's about being true to yourself and your principles. When you live with integrity, you have nothing to fear because your actions will always reflect your true self. Gandhi's life was a shining example of integrity. Despite facing colonial oppression, he stood firm in his principles of non-violence and truth. His integrity inspired millions and led to India's independence. Live with integrity, and nothing can shake your peace. 11. Live according to nature. For the Stoics, living according to nature means living in harmony with your true purpose. A tree does not envy a river. A lion does not wish to be a dolphin. Each thing fulfills its role without resistance. You were born with reason and conscience. Use them. Don't waste your life in mindless distractions or envy of others. Viktor Frankl, in The Horrors of Concentration Camps, found meaning in the simple act of surviving and helping others. He wrote, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how. Find your why. Live it fully." 12. Control what you can. Ignore what you can't. Let's start with the cornerstone of Stoic philosophy. Epictetus, a former slave turned philosopher, taught that we suffer not because of events, but because of our judgment about events. The world is unpredictable. Storms come, people betray us, the market crashes, plans fall apart. But Stoicism teaches us to split life into two zones: what's within our control and what's not. Your actions, your thoughts, your responses, that's your zone. Everything else, people's opinions, outcomes, the weather, politics, that belongs to the outer zone. Here's the power play. By focusing 100% of your energy on your zone, you not only stop wasting time worrying about the uncontrollable, but you also become astonishingly effective in life. While others panic about the uncontrollable, you stay focused, and that focus builds resilience. During the Vietnam War, Navy pilot James Stockdale applied this principle as a prisoner of war. Tortured, starved, and isolated, he focused solely on his mindset and daily conduct, knowing he couldn't control his captors. His calm, strategic thinking helped him survive 7 brutal years and save countless fellow prisoners. Adopt this principle, and you instantly reduce half your worries. 13. The obstacle is the way. Ryan Holiday popularized this Stoic idea for the modern age, but the credit goes back to Marcus Aurelius. Every difficulty is not a dead end, it's a doorway. When you encounter an obstacle, you have 3 choices: complain and quit, deny and delay, or confront and conquer. Stoicism trains us to choose the third option. When the great general Hannibal faced the Alps with his army, many believed it was impossible to cross. Hannibal famously declared, "I will either find a way or make one." Whatever obstacle you're facing right now, remember, it's not the end. It's the beginning of your breakthrough. You now have the 13 Stoic principles to create an unshakable mindset. By applying these principles, you will become untouchable, unshaken by the storms of life, unmoved by criticism, and unbroken by failure. But, as with anything in life, knowledge alone doesn't lead to change. Action does. Choose one of these principles to focus on today. Start practicing it. Notice how it transforms your mindset, your relationships, and your life. And once you've mastered that one, move on to the next. If you're ready to become mentally invincible and want more wisdom on Stoicism, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. And if you found value in today's content, share it with someone who needs it, because strength shared is strength doubled. Until next time, remember, you are not your circumstances. You are your choices. Stay strong, stay stoic.